Nice to be in orbit.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to Sip and Chat with Azem and Jade, right at the Sugar Factory. And guys, I am happy to be back. I'm sure Jade is too. Jade, how are you doing?
Am I
Okay, we'll get to that. But big up to the Kingsters in the King Club. Big up to all the people listening, watching, whether you're looking at us live or you're checking us out after we posted the live show. We appreciate you. Who's shouting out today, Jade?
Good question, friend. Who are you shouting out today?
I had a couple of people I needed to shout out over the...
Do you think? I'm just making sure all the people could see the stream.
All right, lovely. Well, no, I'll only shout out one particular group this morning. And this is based on something I saw on the weekend. Big up to all the people who make it a point to make sure that their kids know how to swim.
Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Big up.
Good one.
Yeah, we are surrounded by water. We do live on an island. And, Babnin.
Is it me or we look a little dark? No?
No, not to me.
No? Okay, just making sure.
But, yeah, big up to all the people. We're surrounded by water.
We are.
Yeah, I think it's cool when, we know we're able to operate in the water.
Yeah, people like to say, well, we live on the land, so why we need to know? Because we don't just stay on the land.
Yeah, we don't stay on the land. That's kind of what it is. Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
We go to the beach, we traverse the waters to go to Nevis, we just need to know to swim.
Yeah, I think that's a big plus.
You know to swim?
I'm not the best swimmer.
But you can save yourself, right?
If I fall off a boat, I can make it to land.
Me no about make it to land. I can make it.
Make it where?
Until somebody save me. So the bad save me fast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but me it's bad, man. I think I learned to swim after I almost drowned.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, when I was little, I went to OTI with my neighbor who was white. This was my first white person ever in my life, and I thought, They had your best interest at heart? No? No, she did. However, she was younger than me. I was like 9, she was like 7 or 6.
Oh, okay.
I think she was like 7.
Okay.
And you know, white people like to make sure the kids could swim.
Right, of course.
So I followed her into the first pool at OTI, which is like, the non-deep pool. Right?
Yeah, don't tell me how much drowned in a pool,
No.
Okay.
That wasn't the one I almost drowned in, of course not. Yeah. Then she jumped into the other pool.
Right.
So I was like, I felt like my friend. Not realizing the other pool.
You see what following people do, people?
Yeah.
You see what following people do?
You see that saying when your parents ask if your friends jump off a cliff, if you can do it too? That was me.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and when I jumped, I realized my foot wasn't touching bottom. So, yeah. It was almost a
So who saved you?
The parents.
Jade was saved by white people, wow.
Yes, the first time white people saved me ever in my life. Probably the last time too. But I appreciated them nonetheless. But yeah, we are
the allies. The allies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
How much drowned after that? No.
I mean, I get you off a fishing boat at the time, and that kind of forced me to get myself organized. But
Love it.
yeah. Those are, and that's that is why I am sometimes not as gung-ho about how we choose to approach badness that happens.
What do you mean?
Like, there's a lot of talk. I think it kind of died down now. We're on a different social crusade right now. But, the social crusade a few years ago was stop the bullying. And I was like, yeah, bullying isn't good. I don't support bullying. But what I support more than calling for the stop of bullying, because it would never stop, is preparing children to deal with bullies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It builds resilience.
Yeah, it builds character, man.
Builds character and builds resilience. So that is in no way justifying bullying, but it is recognizing that bullying happens, and instead of just being like, I want this to be a utopia where bullying never happens, because we don't live in a utopia.
We don't.
We recognize that, hey, whether it is in school, whether it is in relationships, whether it is at work, bullying will happen. Whether it is your family, whether it is while you're at the dinner table.
Oh, I had so much bullies in my life, bye.
Yeah. And I think being able to deal with stuff is like one of the things that I take to with especially young people in my life is allowing them to do things that either frustrate them, things that are dangerous, right? And put them in situations where they have to perform. They have to perform, right?
So you're subjecting the people in your life to fear factor?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yes, because something happens in the brain when you're put in those situations.
Yeah, fight or flight.
Not even sometimes I mean talking about like a situation where you're like your life is in danger. There's like physical harm. I'm talking about situations where I just done teach you how to tie your shoes, and then you come back to me the next day telling me you ain't getting it though. No, let's go. You'll figure it out. Do you remember what we did yesterday?
That's late. I thought I meant like, you know.
But even I have young boys around, godchildren or whatever. And it's like, no, you allow them to do dangerous things carefully. Right? So, and I think it's necessary for their development. It's necessary, like what is happening in the brain while that is happening is necessary for them. It's a skill that they have to learn.
To develop. Yeah, they have to develop how to deal with tough things, because tough things may happen, especially in this life. This life is just filled with tough things on a day-to-day basis. Whether it's at work, whether in your personal life, you just have to suck it up and figure it out.
As a matter of fact, it is because I have dealt with people in my adult life that I can tell did not develop the necessary skills. Why I am so adamant about making sure the people in my life develop it.
You could always tell why you ain't had no kind of days, why you just...
Yeah, no, there's some people like, okay, for instance, right? What's happening when a child throws a tantrum and starts crying? Like, what is happening is that there is some situation that they either do not like, makes them either scared, frightened, and it's undesirous. But they have not yet learned the necessary emotional coping mechanisms to deal with what they're feeling, right?
Nope.
So, generally what happens is, what are you going for? You want me to give you something to cry for? If you want me to give you something to cry for, generally that's what happens.
Yeah.
Though, right, you know what that translates to me? Like, in older people, the people that come big, and whenever everything happen in their life that makes them think, the first thing they do is they don't throw tantrum like kids. They throw tantrums in the form of, why you can't take on this, you know? I just always think say, oh, nobody showed you love when you were young, bye. Nobody taught, but nobody taught you how to calm down, assess the situation, and come up with an appropriate response.
Yeah.
So, like, what I do now is come down to the level. I have my little cousin Zoe. I say, Zoe, what's happening? Okay, so why you crying? Why you feel like that? Okay, well, that's not that bad, right? So, what needs to happen now? Okay, that can't happen.
Yeah.
The first response is normally...
The irrational one?
The irrational one.
Yeah.
So we both know that can't happen.
That's not, no.
So that's not going to happen. But it's not the end of the world, love. Right.
That I had to watch Jaden do that last night over a dinosaur sticker.
Oh yeah. Dinosaur stickers definitely would elicit such a response.
But yeah, and this one too, you know? Yeah. He happened to just see on my phone that he gave me the sticker. I don't think he remembered that he gave me the sticker, but he did. And so he came out while I was working and he saw it and he was like, he wanted it. I was like, baby, you can have my sticker. Not that he can't, but I feel like...
No, what you mean.
Yeah, you can. Just because you want it, you could have it. So I tried explaining that to him. But explaining that to a 4-year-old didn't really, like, you know?
Yeah, you don't always compute as smoothly as we want to.
No. So I watched Jade and went through 55 emotions last night over this one sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I sat him down, I told him he has to go in time out because he was really like acting up. So I said, you know what, you need to calm down, let's go in time out. So I told him every time you start over, we're going to start over. So every time you start your tantrum or you add to it, we can start over from 5 minutes again.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, so first he bawled, he cried, he made me. I was like, okay, so we're going through all the emotions. Okay, that's fine. You're running through them. So I was just sitting, like, I was literally just sitting observing him. And then after that, he realized
They
that...
had no rope?
Not going time.
No.
I didn't need to time either.
I'll do some more. All right.
So...
Yeah.
So after going through all the crying and the screaming and the, you know, the routine the children does do, he started laughing because he thought that because I wasn't saying anything and I was just staring at him, like he just started laughing because I guess he thought I was playing. But then the more he realized that I wasn't saying anything, he started to get worried though. So he was like, Mommy, Mommy, okay? I was like, yes, I'm fine. I'm just waiting for you to get through your emotions so we could talk about where you can have the sticker.
Yeah.
And then, because, I guess me not reacting to him, really, he malfunctioning.
But that's because what they're doing is trying to elicit the reaction that they want, right?
Yeah.
So no reaction is quite uncomfortable.
Listen, I think I'm going to start to do that with adults.
Oh, no, that's definitely my thing.
Yeah, I'm going to start to do that with adults.
Like, I just ignore people normal.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. Okay, you need some time for yourself.
Yeah.
And really and truly, it just be more, I really ain't got the energy to deal with this.
I don't as well. I realize, I have some ways of dealing with things that maybe not the best, but they work for me because...
I like that. They're not the best, they work for me though.
Yeah, however, I know I have to. No, not all of them are the best. I have this thing where, I'm really bad at confrontation because it's really high or really low for me. So it's either, you're not getting a reaction at all or I go and just, leave. Leave the situation. I may leave in the situation because I don't care about what you're saying or anything. I just need to recalibrate sometimes. But it comes because people don't know that's how I am or don't understand that's how I am. So it comes off as you're not interested or you.
Yeah, nonchalant and.
Yeah, but it's really not that. It's just.
What happens with me is that I tend to deal with things very rationally and very systematically, and people interpret that to mean that I don't care. Yeah. Because I'm not shouting, because I'm not like, oh my God. Okay, you crying, it don't make sense I start crying too. Like what? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
People interpret that, but what I find helps is to alert people of what's happening.
Yeah.
So if I really don't want to talk to you, I would probably just go. At this particular point in time, I don't have the capacity to have this conversation.
I'm going to try using that
one. And we can have it at a different time, perhaps when I have the energy to do so, and when you have calmed down enough for us to have an actual, meaningful conversation.
How would you?
Yeah. No, whatever you do after that, that's on you. I don't tell you where I
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
No, I would you. I like that approach too.
And it's not necessarily just so that, in other words, and when I say that, it's not that I'm expecting you to somehow just accept and be good and ready for the conversation. But at least you know where I'm at. So,
sure.
Yeah, you know where I'm at.
I could respect that. I could respect
So
that.
if I just can't take you on, I'll say, look, right now, I can't do this right now.
Yeah, like I guess too. Sometimes it's because you as a child didn't have those. Like you see how you are teaching your niece or your cousins to, or your cousins, yeah, how to figure out emotions from a child.
Emotional intelligence is important.
Yeah. I didn't have those things, so I learned them as an adult, and I'm still learning how to figure out those things. But I know I'm instilling proper or better emotions into Jaden at least, like, you know.
I mean, it's learning how to cope, right? I think, you know what I think it is too? I keep saying a lot of times, I ask parents, like, what do you think your role is as a parent? And I get varied amount of answers. I'm like, why you have children?
Because I want somebody to take care of me when I'm older.
When I want somebody to take care of me when I'm older is one.
That's a wild one, though.
Yeah. That's a lot to put on somebody.
Yeah, because they don't have to. I don't know why. I think, yeah. Well, I know why. Parents think that's the way that it's going to happen, but they also have to remember that you're dealing with other people. And other people can change their minds easily. So like you could think that I'm supposed to take care of you when you're old and good because you raised me or whatever, but then I could realize like that's not my job and put you in the Grange and know you've vexed with me.
Yeah, but even if you put somebody in the Grange, I don't think that means that like you abandon them, right? I think because somebody got to pay, right?
Yeah.
So
it doesn't, but
yeah.
some of them would take it as, oh,
yeah.
you didn't, you just put me over here and wash your hands over me, which that's not the case.
That's not the case. But I think we have a responsibility as a species, right? As a species, and part of that responsibility is to procreate. I think we overlook that. Our people don't see it as a responsibility.
Yeah.
I think we have a responsibility to make more of us.
Yeah.
Right? Make more of us, and then not only that, make more of us, and then prepare them for life, the life that's ahead.
I think that's why a lot of people get lost. They forget about the prepare them part. Like they feel like you just have to have kids, and I guess they feel like.
I don't even think that. I think what happens is when a lot of people have kids, they want kids to satisfy some internal desire, right? So a lot of people just be like, I want a child. So they don't even get the child because of an understanding that this is part of your role as a member of the human species.
Yeah.
They just go, oh, so it's almost like you want a pet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird pet vibes.
Yeah,
and then,
like, no, you have to take care of that child. Like, you have to make sure that child fits into society in a meaningful way. You can't just be out here getting children and then when they turn into terrorists, it's our responsibility to fix it.
Yeah, and then I also recognize, too, that what happens is you get this this thing where it's like, oh, yeah, I want this little pet. And then you treat it as such.
Like a little pet.
And obviously it's not. And so there is this whole set of teachings and nurturing that doesn't take place, right? And so, like you said, it gets to a point where now we got to go deal with the people who have not really been taught how to cope with life.
Yes.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean bad people. It don't mean criminals.
No.
But there are a lot of us adults, and I say us because none of us are perfect, right?
No.
And so we are subject to the handling our parents gave us, right? Mm-hmm. Or didn't give us.
Yep.
Right, so we are now dealing with all of us who have our imperfections and our shortcomings and whatever. And because of the view, instead of learning what those shortcomings are so we could fix it and then move and then instill those things into our children, we just kind of borrow this. Jade, you carry me down a dark road here.
Me?
Because I had a similar conversation with somebody about accountability, right? And it's something that is getting more and more frustrating for me, just dealing with people. it seems as though the idea of hypocrisy, right, is this thing that people feel that we must avoid at all cost. Nobody wants to be a hypocrite. Nobody wants to be called a hypocrite. Nobody wants to. And I'm just like, we're human. Like, we are hypocritical by nature.
Yes.
Right? So what happens is, well, that is how it's phrased. It's phrased like, do anything to not be a hypocrite. And so what happens is that we then start coming up with these little excuses for the things that we do because we don't want to admit they're wrong when we do them. And so my thing is, it's not necessarily because we're trying to avoid hypocrisy, it's really because we don't want to take accountability for our actions.
Because that would mean that we become the hypocrite.
Yeah. And it's like, wrong is wrong, right is right.
Yeah.
Like, I can say, this is what should happen, and also admit that I was wrong for not doing it.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from? This is something that I should not have done. And I can say, hey, that action is wrong.
Yeah.
But you did it, yes, and I was wrong to do it. Like, like, you understand?
Yeah.
I don't understand. So but generally what happens now is people go, oh, I can't say it's wrong because that would make me a hypocrite. No, like, no, that's, no.
So things will be true.
Not only that, like, you don't just call wrong right because you did wrong.
Yeah.
And then tell me it's because you don't want to be hypocritical.
No, that's not.
No, right is right, wrong is wrong. Like, what? What? I don't understand it.
People have public. Sometimes people find.
He didn't know where the song come from.
Oh. Sometimes people find it very difficult to just admit their wrongs. Like, I don't, honestly. That's one thing I'm happy about. Like, I could manfully say that when I know I do something wrong, I could go to either my friend or whoever I did it to and be like, yeah, I probably handled that the wrong way, or I was wrong in this situation, or even, and give you a genuine apology, not just apologize because they want to hear you arguing, or apologize because I feel like it's going to make you feel better. Apologize because I know that I did something wrong and I know that I plan to do better.
Right. Can you do that when you know you don't plan to do better?
Apologize?
Yeah, but I mean, the apology goes a little different, right? Because an apology, a real apology, right, not only acknowledges the act, but it condemns the act, right? And in the best case scenario, should give some reassurance that the act will not happen again.
Yeah.
I think there's some situations where you well know that the act can happen again. Do you, or are you one of the people that in that particular scenario goes, I understand where you're hurt, and this is wrong, and probably happen again.
That's a well sentence to tell somebody why.
But why is it a well sentence though?
Because like, why you actively, if you know that this thing is hurting somebody, like why? Why?
Because okay, in the case of vices, right? I think I don't think people are painfully aware of their vices. Because what we do, we find ways to justify it, right? We find ways to justify our the things in our life that we know we shouldn't be doing, right? So, for instance, and this is a bad example because it's not really a vice, but it's the same concept. Hey, you probably should learn to swim. I mean, live in the sea. No, you well know what I'm saying is true. You well know that you probably should learn to swim.
Yeah.
But in order to justify the fact that you're not planning to learn to swim, you're going to make up an excuse. That like, yeah, it just need to be something.
It just has to be something, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and so I think we do that with our vices too, right? Are you painfully aware of your vices?
Yes. Sometimes.
No. Okay, go ahead. I'll ask the second question after you respond. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Respond first.
I was going to ask, do you actively work on addressing your vices?
Most of them.
Well, so there's some that you do not.
Not as much as the others, because some of them don't occur like some of the others.
You mean in terms of frequency?
Yeah. So some of them is like, because of how they come up, is either like, is not affecting anybody, affecting me day to day. It's just something that I know that I do, and I should work on. And I try to work on it, but because I don't actively have it happening, it's harder for me to work on. Whereas there's some things that I know happen frequent enough for me to need to actively put work into to have them not occur. Because they would actually affect me day to day if they do.
I have vices I like.
Which one?
I mean, they're vices. Like, I think that's what people don't really recognize about vices. Like, we like it. Like, we like it. We like them.
Oh, so I was thinking about something else then. I'm thinking about bad vices then.
No, when I say, like, they could be bad. Like, I could acknowledge that, hey, these things that I do hurt people around me, and they might have negative impacts on my life over time. And or just simply my life could be better if I were to change this behavior, right? But I like it. No, I mean, we do this all the time, right? Like with people who play video games, right? It might not be to the point where you skip 2 days of your life because you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, right? But perhaps if you stop and you recognize that you're playing 8 hours a week, playing video games for 8 hours a week, at some point you'll recognize that over your lifespan, there's years of your life you're giving to just playing games, right?
Yeah.
So once you recognize that, do you then figure out, hey, perhaps this is something I need to work on? And then normally what happens is we like it. That's why devices exist. We like them.
Yeah.
We like them. And so what I find happening is we don't really have the conversations necessary to alert people of who we are in that sense. So you getting to know somebody, you have a friendship that you're building, you get close to whatever, and it's like, of course you put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
Of course you put your best foot forward. But at some point these things are going to come up. These things are going to come up, and then how you deal with that, I think, is a big part of determining how the interaction between you and these people going forward. Like, and then sometimes again we use them as excuses. So for instance, this is a big one, and I'm very guilty of this. Sorry, I really ain't good at texting. I really ain't good at texting back.
Yeah.
Right? And the truth is, if I'm to be honest with myself, like, that's something I could definitely do better at.
Yeah.
Right? But do I want to?
No.
Right? So it's like, when I tell this to people, am I telling them this in terms of alerting them, hey, this is one of my shortcomings, and I'd like some grace? Do I expect grace because I tell you that? Or is it more about, but just don't stress me, because
because
me ain't really interested in fixing this.
Yeah.
Right? So like these are the dynamics I think that go on, like, and we don't really admit it. Like,
oh boy,
we don't really
it's so
admit it.
complicated as relationships as an adult. The close ones, at least, they get complicated when you have things that come up, like there's different personalities, moods, behaviors, things that you may not be accustomed to dealing with, but now you have to deal with them because of your closeness to this person. Because it could, like, sometimes there's friendships that you don't have to see certain parts of people because it's either you only see them once a week when you hang out.
Yeah, it might be work, it might be people at your church, people at your social group, like a youth group or volunteer group, something like that. And so it's very limited in terms of the interaction. Right?
Yeah.
But these are still people who you regularly interact with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that I don't think people do as much introspection as they need to do to even know themselves. So if you don't know yourself, I think there's a lot of things happening. One, people don't take the time to be introspective and figure out what's going on with them. Two, people don't know who they are because they allow somebody else to dictate their thoughts, views, and positions and things, right? And beliefs. So whether it is social media, whether it is the church, whether it is a friend group,
family,
a lot of times people's view, if you ask them, can you remember the moment where this view was developed, where you rationalized it? The answer is no. And that's for everybody, right? A lot of what we believe and think based on how we're socialized, right?
Yeah.
But then when you're given the opportunity now to do that, to do the thought and the thing, like people don't even want to do that. So you don't know who you are. So how do I know who you are if you don't know who you are? And then how do I deal with you? And then on top of that, again, because of this thing that we do now, where everything is right and there is no right and there's no wrong and there's no truth, then how can you have relationships with people when it's easy for them to just say things like, let me give you a popular one. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, your opinion wrong. Like, me understand?
People don't like hearing that though.
Like, your opinion wrong. Like, your opinion, it's not inherently right because you have an opinion.
Yeah, people don't like hearing that. And when you react to their opinion, it's like, oh, well, you just an opinion, so you should. No, but your opinion.
No, your opinion matters because the opinion dictates how you're going to treat me and how you expect to be treated, right? And so when we're having these types of conversations and the idea is, well, dismissive in that sense, right? It's not a matter that we both had a discussion. We have a difference of opinion. And so I know have an understanding of how you think and what your expectations are. You know what I think about my expectation, and we agree to disagree. No, it's just because the opinions a lot of times don't come from any real rational experience. It's just a matter of, well, this is the outcome I want, so this is kind of why it has to be to get that. Then it gets frustrating when they're put in a position to try and explain it.
Yeah.
Right? So and that's where you start getting these responses like, oh, so only you're right, only you're right, and, so because you think that you're right, and like, no, that's not what we're doing here. I'm just seeking understanding. Like, I'm seeking to understand what's going on. Like, but you can't explain it because you don't know where it comes from.
True. But I'm starting to think conversations are getting harder.
Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you.
But that's because we don't actually speak.
No, we listen to, we listen to reply, is that?
I think.
What's the saying?
I think that, okay, let me put it this way. Most of the conversations you have now, you have them, I think it's safe to say you have them on your phone.
Yeah.
Or some other type of electronic device.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if we're going to say that 80 to 90% of conversation and communication is non-verbal, right? And maybe even more if you take out the voice, because you're typing to somebody.
Yep.
And that is most of what you're doing. Then at some point you're losing the skill of how to speak and how to communicate.
Yeah.
You don't practice it. We don't practice to communicate anymore. Like, what we do is type things to people, and that's how we talk.
I prefer face-to-face communication.
People just type LOL and never laugh.
They ain't even smiling.
like,
straight face. But the message cracking them up, but straight face.
LOL. Like, to me, that does something in your mind, eh?
Bye.
like, to the point where I'm starting to, like, refuse to type LOL if I did not laugh.
I mean, you shouldn't.
No, that's like, everybody types LOL and didn't even crack a smile.
Yeah.
So if I'm typing to you and you see me say ha, that means I think it's so what it means is that I understand that you were trying to be funny and I'm being courteous. That's what it means. Like, that what LOL means, it didn't mean I actually laughed out loud. It says, oh, you were trying to be funny. I didn't actually laugh, but I don't want to act as though you didn't achieve your goal. So here's a LOL for your troubles.
I did that the other day and somebody took offense to it.
Yes, Jade.
Like, I literally was like, this is funny to me. And they were offended.
I could understand the offense. But it depends.
But I wasn't trying to be offensive. I was just really saying your humor might not be my humor. And I even followed it up with, I'm going to show you what my type of humor was. But it was too late. it was too late, friends. So it's like, it's difficult to navigate that space when you're just trying to be honest. Because everybody's so sensitive.
Yeah, sensitivity is a big problem, though.
Yeah.
Sensitivity is a big problem. But hey,
bye, so you go.
But Jade, we are off for a while. You want to tell the people what his name is?
Well, whose name is?
Yeah, stop playing with me now.
Well, whose name
We just talk about open communication, Jade.
Yeah, but whose name are we talking about? Jesus?
The man who you're finding in
Jamaica?
Yeah.
You think I find a man in Jamaica? You think I'm so lucky?
Oh, you show me a picture? Show me. Yeah. You didn't find a man in Jamaica. You've known that man right here. You ain't find me nowhere.
Oh, when you talking about yourself like that, what here, so? You asked me to show you outside, you know. I show you on the screen. Now, I've made some friends in Jamaica, but you know.
Good way to, yeah, that's a nice way to put it, yes. Nice, lovely. Yeah.
Actually, Jamaica was vibes, I'm gonna lie to you. Like, I had fun on the trip. Like, I discovered some stuff. I grew a bit in my thinking, and I just had a grand time, like, I'm gonna lie to you. And they are so, I don't know who the media, but they kept, like, you know how the media keeps constantly making it seem like Jamaica is this terrible place and all type of things just happening down there, people snatching people on the road and all kind of things. Daily, like, not once did I feel that presence.
Well, yeah, but where were you? Ochi?
And Kingston.
Yeah, so.
Everybody was just so nice and pleasant. We even linked up with Byron and Nature. Yeah.
Nice.
I went to the strip club to make it rain.
Ah.
It poured in there.
It poured. Nice. Well, it sounds like you did have a good time. Any stories you want to relate to the sippers?
One, guys, if you go to Jamaica, if you go to certain events in Jamaica, two things for you to not expect. Shelter.
What?
I didn't realize that. I never see so much trust in my life. Just structure, no wolf.
Yeah, this is an outdoor event.
Yeah, but we're in the Caribbean.
Right, so you're accustomed to rain?
Yeah, but you're not accustomed to rain in your good clothes. You know, we don't go outside with good clothes anyway.
Jade, I keep saying this. You've heard me say this.
So is us?
You've heard me say this over and over again. St. Kitts is the only place I go to where even at the free show you have VIP, you know? And,
no, they had VIP.
No, what I'm saying is, the other thing is that the VIPs, they'll be 3 and 4 times bigger than everywhere else.
Yeah, the VIPs at the dancehall events, they were big. They own it. Honestly, my only thing is they were worded ticket-wise. So like they would say all-inclusive this and that. And the all-inclusive in me, what you think it means?
It's not us, not ours. No, it's not like us.
No. But the soca parties were. The soca parties gave me exactly what I thought I was going to get.
Okay.
I didn't enjoy the dancehall parties because, you know, I'm a big dancehall fan. So, like, they had all the old gunman songs, them, so, like, you know, I was in heaven.
Right.
And I saw Rick Ross. Yeah. But I literally, like, I saw so many people in Jamaica that and I love how it's just, like, they just chill, like, you know? they wasn't making it seem like because of who they were, they're not accessible or you shouldn't be around them. Like I was chilling with people and then I only know who they were after. So I thought, like for instance, one example was Letterbus. You know who Letterbus is?
Yeah.
I didn't at the time. He's so sweet. He's so kind and
Yeah.
nice young man. And then I also, you know who DJ Mac is?
No.
He's one of the biggest producers in Jamaica. Yeah, he's vibes too.
Okay.
He's vibes too.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it sounds like you do have a grand.
Well, but I had a whale of a time. I guess about 3 times. And that came from one, again, not knowing that some of the parties don't have shelter. So it was pouring and I was just there like, well, can't really learn about this.
Yeah, it's an outdoor party.
Yeah,
That's how it goes.
But it was fun. I won't lie. I would. It was so much fun that I would move to Jamaica.
Okay. Vibes. Well, I didn't have fun. I didn't go work, and the job was very difficult. But
damn. But you got through it. How was? What made it difficult?
Scheduling. Things were way behind.
Oh.
And what generally happens is my job comes in last, right? So my job is the actual show, right? So if the stage ain't there,
you can't do work.
You can't really prep, can't do nothing, so that was kind of what was happening. It was the Uber Soca finale I went to do.
Oh.
And so like it was like people enjoyed themselves.
Yeah.
People enjoyed themselves.
They look so. They look like they were.
The St. Kitts flag was big and well represented.
Of course it should be.
All in the Juve.
Listen, if you're Kittitian and you're traveling without your St. Kitts flag, something wrong with you?
No, I don't know.
Return and get it.
I don't know if it's because we've convinced ourselves that we're small.
So everybody must know about us?
Yeah, that we just like we do this overcompensation thing, but when Kittitians are around, you must know.
You're
Jamaicans, you're gonna know they're around, but it's because of the sheer number and because of the sheer personality and
the sheer
loud and the loudness, right? In their personality. Kittitians is like we have this one-up thing. Like we just like to one-up everybody. So there's whining going on. A Kittitian whining better than everybody else. If there is a bull ring, well, the St. Kitts flag will be in the middle of the bull ring. Waving harder than every other flag put together. If there's it's just what we do.
Yeah.
We show up and we show out. That's how we do.
That should be when you quest.
Country above self, show that.
Yeah.
Show up and show out.
That's more fitting, actually.
That's what I'm telling you.
That's more fitting. Speaking of Uber Soca, the guy lost his foot at Uber Soca, or he was just on a cruise ship?
No, he was at the Uber Soca.
Disappointing. You waste your spot on Uber Soca to lose your foot?
Watch it, right?
The video was so good, so many watch. Like as soon as I see it coming up on the water,
I was like, I was laughing because, and I know it's terrible. I know it's terrible. I'm one of those people, I admit when I do terrible things.
Sure.
I should not have laughed, but I did.
Okay, what was the part that you laughed at? Because I had a specific part that you laughed at.
I'm sure everybody laughed at the same part, Jade.
Which one?
When the guy had the unfortunate incident and there was this gentleman that decided to go and help him.
That's your part.
When the fellow realized what going on, the man was jumping.
And listen, it wasn't funny, right? But it was understandable. So it made it even funnier.
Jade is the man reaction and me cracking up.
Said, oh no.
Then the man said, not me.
Lord Father.
And then he had to gather himself and come back.
Yeah, he realized, you know.
And then pull up the man and was like, well, I do that, you know.
I want to traumatize, man. Listen, that incident traumatized so many people. Because imagine you're just whining and next thing you know, a foot.
I know. I spoke to somebody who was right there on the pier.
See?
I spoke to somebody who was on the pier. And they gave me the rundown of what happened according to them. And when people don't follow instructions,
I don't hear.
they don't hear.
Big people don't hear.
But I'm gonna be honest, eh? I'm gonna be honest. That man is one, quite resilient and also quite lucky.
Why?
Because it could have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah, it could have been more than a foot.
Because he then had to swim out from under there, like
with 1 foot, the other one hanging, not going to shock.
For those listening who might not know what we're talking about, so there was an incident that happened. It was in St. Martin.
Yep.
Where a young man seemed to be trying to get on a boat after the boat had already started moving. Unfortunately, he...
Like, yeah, no, what boat says though?
He was, let's say he was sucked on pretty much. Yeah. And it seemed as though the propeller for one of the engines hit his extremity. And so he suffered an injury to his right leg, if I'm remembering correctly. This was also part of, I think it was the raft up event of Uber Soccer. And
oh Lord.
Yeah, but follow instructions.
Simple. Do not climb on until the boat stops moving. They don't just tell you that because they want to.
No, they're saying, look, you got more boat coming here. Like,
just wait.
Just wait for the next boat.
Just wait.
Boat full. Wait till the next boat.
Why would you oh my God. No, you're footless. No, you're footless. But you got one left, you know.
I keep trying to figure out where this fella is from so that I could figure out if he'll be able to live this down. If he's from the US, he'll be fine. He'll get a prosthetic.
Yeah, they could fix that.
And then he'll probably become a cool guy.
So wait, they couldn't fix the one that he had?
Jade, me no know. I doubt it though.
Yeah, but they look like...
I doubt
that
it.
one they look fixable by.
And so my thing was, if he's from the US, then he'll probably be able to get a prosthetic and then convince people that he was in the army and stepped on an IUD and probably get like first preference in lines and so on, he'll be alright.
Yeah.
If he's from the islands, Jade, and everybody know you is the partner in the video, but you can't get rid of that.
Oh Lord. Oh, when they in the hospital.
Jade, them man in your skin, Jade.
Somebody said alcohol is a hell of a drug, right? And
yes.
Even though I agree, right? Let me tell you what alcohol has never made me do. Lose my foot.
Yeah, but I fear, Jade.
Why believe you?
Because I do believe that it's not about making you lose your foot. I do believe it's about impairing judgment.
Yeah.
It's about impairing judgment. And I think that you want to believe that his judgment had to be impaired. He can't be that. I'm trying to avoid using the word stupid, eh? I've been trying to avoid, since the start of this conversation, I'm trying to avoid using that particular word. I don't want to believe he's that defiant, right? On a regular basis.
How you know?
Harden. Maybe I believe he's harden on a regular basis.
Let's use the Caribbean word. I to harden sometimes.
To harden.
But you know, when you want to say in this situation, that's what happened.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, bye. I can't wait for the nicknames here, Jade. If I'm a Caribbean island, Jade, the nickname is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Oh bye.
Yeah, I'm alright, yeah, life.
Uber Soccer shoes, bye. Yeah, footsie done take, man.
Yeah, we got that one already.
Yeah, every island have at least 3 footsies.
It could be called footloose, because you were hanging when he come. You were hanging when he come up. Oh, that's so terrible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm joking. That's a good one, though.
I want to believe Footsie nickname in school was Footsie.
No, it was Footsie.
No, it was Foots. I want to believe he started out as Foots. I want to believe we used to call him Foots.
So where did he come from?
Oh, sometimes your nickname don't evolve.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, so you go. You came back with all yours. I came back with all of mine.
Yes, thank God.
Praise the Lord for small mercies.
Yes, I'm thankful to have not only all of my limbs, but fingers and toes in check, yes.
Yeah. The only thing I lose was my toenail.
Again?
I stick it back on, see? It comes back on all.
Me need one down there, Jade.
No, idiot, look.
Jade, I'll take your word for it.
Azem.
I'll take your word for it. This is a different tunnel? Wait, you said
no,
them?
Yeah, man. Remember?
Okay. Celeste.
And I lost like a nail and a half. This one I lose this morning, trying to get Jade ready. But this one I lost in Jamaica.
Yo, I'm sorry, but things y'all is Dubai.
Couple eyelashes gone.
You just put y'all in some precarious positions here, Jade.
Don't say that. We live and we learn. Right?
Sometimes I let like an extra week go before cutting my nail and my nail boot up somewhere and I'd be like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
And my nail literally is 1/8 of an inch longer than the tip of my finger.
No, but my toenails came off because I keep hitting them at the entrance of the door. Like, and I remember when the second one happened. I didn't remember when the first one happened. But the second one, I definitely, like, I literally
toenails have you lost?
The last one. Till the last one. Well, 1.5, because one didn't come off fully. I don't know who up here me or who are playing with me dolly and just keep putting it up on the doors. But yeah, cut it up, please. I've gotten the message. Somebody probably didn't want me to live my best life in Jamaica and decided to come to the
haters.
Like, man, they couldn't fix that.
Haters.
Yeah. I can't stop my nail tech, you know. So I can't stop.
Oh, man.
Okay, so we have some things happen while we were away.
Yeah.
It feel like we was away for a long time. I mean, you're going again, eh? Because you was a busy man.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Bills to pay, money to make,
Tell me about
people
it.
to feed.
Why? Tell me about it.
People to feed, most importantly.
Why?
But yeah, while we were away, they had the Carifta Games.
Yes.
Yeah. And apparently we're going back to the Bahamas. Yeah, they take it to Bahamas beef, you know.
People was wailing by.
But we don't play with them island words.
When they gonna learn, Jade? When they gonna learn to do?
Do not play with kittitions.
Kittitions and divisions.
Yes.
We like family. We have a family. We like a very dysfunctional family.
Yes.
We cuss one another. We fight. We get along, but don't complain on us.
Yeah.
When I was in school, there had these two brothers. They live on the project. Every day they fight. And when I talking about fight, I talking about bust head and so brothers live in the same house.
It was on site.
Different father.
Every site.
Different father, same mother live in the same house. Huh. And every day they fight. One clear, one black. But don't make the mistake and play with one here.
No.
Don't.
They're gonna ramp you.
Oh.
Tell.
Oh no, then they was notorious.
Yeah, man.
Notorious. Don't ramp with them there.
But listen me. Kittitions and divisions call the people from Bahamas everything but a child of God. Every single name but a child of God.
Oh, boy. What was the young man's name? Okay, so there was a situation where, I don't know, if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. Is Jalen Barrett?
So I think so. Let me look. Well, may know if I could find his name.
I think his name is Jalen.
I would have to go on his page. Well, they say it's
Athletic Association.
Yeah. Actually, I think I'm trying to get Delway now to talk about it this week, so we'll sort that out. But
yeah, there was a situation where he was actually left off of the start list for his final, and so did not run in the final. But it seemed as though the team managers challenged it, and so in order to remedy it, they don't rerun the races. So they allowed him to run the race by himself. And like, I can tell you, as somebody who was involved in athletics.
Bennett.
And as somebody who's involved in athletics, that is not a very comfortable.
Exactly.
Feeling. I have run a race where it was only 2 people in the race, and that in itself was
uncomfortable.
Wow, Jade.
Well, I never had them skills, so I would never know what you're talking about.
We went to Antigua, there was only going 2 of us. And that was a heat. That was actually just a heat. And we were in the last heat, and so it was only 2 people left. And that was just like...
Yeah, I didn't like that situation. But he did it anyway, because, I mean, that was the only other option. And so the time that the TV showed kittitions and divisions.
Oh yeah, that was another part of the thing too. I guess that wasn't really a big thing for me because I understand like I understand how that works. It's not necessarily that's not the official time. But I could understand why people were...
Boy, they cook the Bahamas for 40 days and 40 nights.
And it's only been a week.
And it's only been a week. I don't want to get the buy. But when I tell you, every day, from since the race one, every minute out of every day, Bahamas get one.
One of the good things though was I did like to see the way people kind of galvanize support around the athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I watch every day. I watch the competition.
Okay.
Right. Let me tell you something. We need two things, and people might get vexed with me, but I won't even call it how I say it.
People don't get vexed with you for less. It's okay.
I didn't like the way our athletes looked. I didn't like it.
I mean?
I didn't like it.
Looked how?
Something just didn't look right. And so, after careful examination, I came up with two reasons why it just wasn't feeling right looking at our athletes. There were three reasons.
Oh, okay.
There was three reasons.
Okay.
One of them is me. Right? One of them is me. Recognizing that I'm only looking at this because I want to see the performance of the competition athletes, and so I'm looking at them more than probably the other athletes.
Okay.
So that's one. So get that out of the way now. Mm-hmm. The second one was the uniforms, them never say none. The uniform, they may fit in them properly.
Oh, Lord.
Right? I don't know if there was no proper sizing. I don't know if they went to...
So they looked baggy, you said?
Not only just baggy, but it didn't even look like track uniforms.
Let me go look at them again.
Like,
I can find them.
Just look at the start list for like any race.
Uh-huh.
Just type in Carifto, whatever race, and just look at whatever, right? We need to get them better uniforms. The other thing that was plain and that was giving me the impression I was getting, it was obvious to me that for a lot of the athletes, they weren't in a comfort zone, which signals to me that we need to get our athletes in more high-level competitions.
Okay.
And I think that's mainly what it was. That was like you're looking at the race start list at the starting line. Remember, I used to be an athlete, so like I used to run track.
You have a different way of looking at it.
But so I'm looking at the start of the race, and you can tell the athletes that have a routine, right? So they get to the start line, they take off their track uniform. Some of them, they get into a zone, they look down the lane. Some of them, they have a routine where they may do a few quick sprints. Some of them, they set the blocks, they try the blocks, they do whatever. I'm looking at a lot of our athletes, and you could tell what it is. They just haven't been exposed to this level of competition as much as they need to, right? And so we need to find a way for me, like just looking on. That was my interpretation of what I was seeing.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm looking at some of the athletes, and you could tell the bright lights is a little different, and like, okay, I'm not as comfortable here. I'm not as focused on the job at hand. Are doing the things that I know generally help you to get prepared to perform your best, right? So when you go and you look at Bolt, and Bolt come down and he do his little thing, and people think it's like a style thing.
Yeah.
It ain't that. It's part, like, you do it over and over again because it gets familiar and it makes you comfortable, right? So this is my routine. I do my routine. It helps you to get settled. It helps the athletes, and they're doing that. Some of them are just kind of looking around, like they're watching in the stage, they're watching in the stands. So like they're calling out their name, and they're calling out their name, and they're busy like watching around, and so what I recognize is like, okay, they're obviously responding to being at a prestigious competition, right? And just taking it all in. Like, they're taking it all in, and they're enjoying the experience, and so like it was no fault of the athletes. You understand where I'm coming from? It was no fault of the athletes. It's just it signaled to me that
it's a new experience.
Yeah, and we need to get them more. We need to get them more so that it's not when you get to the Olympics, it's like, oh my God, the Olympics. It's more like, okay, I have a job to do. This is how I operate. This is it.
Yeah.
And recognizing that this is just like any other race. I come and I do my job, right? And so I'm hoping that, but it didn't. So watching it on the TV, I was just like, no, but we look good. That's how it signaled to me first. Like, we didn't look good. Something about it didn't look good. Hey guys, welcome back. Unfortunately, we had some internet issues, so yeah, we are back though. Hopefully, I'm glad that you guys are joining us again for the remainder of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, before the internet gods frowned on us,
as they do from time to time.
we were talking about the Carifta Games, and I guess for me, the main thing now is the congratulating of the athletes. And
definitely.
That's for me is the main thing. I think they represented us well. I think we have a lot to be proud of, and I'm looking forward to the rest of their careers. Now, that being said, I think some of the athletes were kind of at their early, you know, like you might be under 17, but you're actually like 15, so you got another year or two, you know? So I think we're going to be seeing them, you know, representing us. And my critique about the athletes, you know, maybe displaying a bit of that thing where it's like the bright lights. That ain't happening again to them there, you know.
No, bye.
Because they're accustomed now. They know we go. They know what to expect. And I know they're going to go there and hopefully even help to prepare the younger athletes coming up.
Yeah, we actually placed fourth.
Yeah.
We placed fourth in Carifta.
And I don't think that is a small feat. Like when we look at the size of the team was not that big. Right? The size of the team was not that big. And also the size of the country.
Even smaller.
So, yeah, kudos to them. And when I see these types of things, what it signals to me is that we really should be sending more athletes.
Yeah, we really should be investing more resources into this.
Yeah.
Because clearly we are capable.
And when I say sending more athletes, I understand it's not like just take up and send a team, right?
No.
But what I do believe is that we need to be strategic in preparing athletes with potential. And sometimes, and what I was very happy to see, for instance, is a young man that won the 400-meter hurdles. These are events that sometimes we don't think of when we start talking about track and field, right?
Because we focus on the 100 meters, the 200 meters.
Yeah, right? And maybe the relays. And I'm saying that we have athletes who have the skill and capability to perform exceptionally well in some of these other events, right? And I think we need to put just as much focus on them. As a matter of fact, I don't believe that as a nation that our strength, you know how Jamaicans known for sprinting?
Very much so, because they have like 78 points. And the closest second point was 46.
Right, so the Jamaicans known for sprinting, right? The Kenyans known for running marathons. I think there are certain things that
we could be known for?
No, but the environment dictates, hey, you may be well suited. The people here may be well suited for this.
For hurdles?
Well, maybe not for hurdles, but or maybe so. But maybe, for instance, I don't know the young man. But knowing what it takes to run the 400-meter hurdles, I would suspect that he plays football. The reason I'm saying that is the systems that it takes to perform well in those races are similar systems. So generally the footballers would do good at the 400 and the 800.
Because they have the stamina.
Right, and not only the stamina, but it's this type of system. So they might not be good at the 3,000.
Yeah.
Right, or the 12,000 or the marathon.
What that even mean? 12,000?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Or the steeplechase. They might not be the best steeplechase runners.
Yeah.
But the system that you develop when you play football would make you well suited to things. So maybe because we're a footballing nation, who knows? That might be.
We're a footballing nation indeed.
Yeah.
We love us some football over here, boy.
And let me tell you something. I am so happy that I'm living to see this thing now where you're asking people what they're doing on the weekend. Oh, I think I'm going football. Like, it has been a while since I've heard that from just regular people who obviously didn't even know what goal means.
Yeah. Football doing it, man. Football doing it.
Yeah, so it's become like, there's definitely, I would say, a little bit of a spark around football again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm loving that too.
Yeah. Another thing that happened over the week that we were away, they announced the second wave of music festival finally.
Yeah, you've been asking for it.
Yes, I have. And so, when was this? The Thursday? The Wednesday?
I'm not sure.
One of those days, they announced that Akayu Suite, Collision Band, Small Axe Band, Statics, Erica Edwards, Anthony B, Romain Virgo, TJ, Nicha B, 313 Family, Mr. Bagnall, Castor Band, Diana Blackman, Pretty, Gramps Morgan, New Vibes Band, Ricardo Drew, Dexter Daps, and Burna Boy will be the acts touching the stage for the 25th anniversary of our music festival.
Lovely. Congratulations to all the people who are on the show.
I just wanted a little R&B, that's all. That's a little, you know, something to groove to. Is either a busing and a soca in. And, you know, and nothing wrong with any of them, but, you know, I'm to the people in love. I'm to Azem.
Exactly.
He can't even do a little, you know?
Well,
You could shy, oh, yeah.
I think...
I want to be ticket for him, say my thing gonna be valid.
The ticket. Oh! Well, let me, like... Everybody can have their idea of what the music fest ought to be and should be and who they should bring and who they should bring and all of that. And so... I don't even like. I think it's. I've been on record as saying that I think we need a shift.
Yeah.
I think we need a shift in the way that we view the music festival, the way we approach it, and I think we. Let me not think. We are probably one of the leading music festivals in the region. Right? And I think if we continue down that road, the road that we seemingly on, and this isn't no recent thing, this is maybe the last 10, 15 years we've been on a certain trajectory.
Yeah.
We leaving the door open. We're leaving the door open for someone else to come and take over that top spot. And I personally don't want to see that happen.
So how do you think that they could fix that?
Well, I don't want to publicly give out my views on what should happen. The reason for that is recognizing what I'm into and the role that I play.
Yeah.
Sometimes my word on certain topics carries a certain amount of weight, and people weaponize my words. Right? So what I say, I'd say to the relevant authorities at the relevant time. But that being said, I believe that anybody that goes to the music festival this year can expect to have a good time. I think.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. It's not like we're expecting to not have a good time at the music festival. I think the music festival this year, people are gonna go out, people are gonna have a grand old time, and if you go there with the intention of having said good time, you'd leave satisfied and knowing that you had a good experience.
Yeah.
So that is that. But what I would say, have you seen the lineup for St. Lucia Jazz?
Not yet. Let me go look for it now.
It's
Lucia Jazz.
And I think what that lineup signals that there are different approaches.
Okay.
There are different approaches to how you populate acts for music festivals in the Caribbean. And so I won't want to believe that the trajectory that St. Kitts is on, or the trajectory that Dominica is on, or the trajectory for St. Lucia Jazz are the only ones. I believe that we can evolve the festival in a way that makes it even more impressive. I mean, like I say, I think St. Kitts Music Festival is the premier music festival in the Caribbean. But I think that if you want to keep the top spot, you're gonna have to really continue to evolve and continue to push the envelope, right? And so we'll see how that goes. Yeah,
we will.
And the thing is, and just so, if you have a similar way of generating the acts, if you have a similar way of positioning the festival, and this is anybody, this is a fete, this is a festival. If you're doing something for 25 years, you have to see evolution.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna start basically recycling all the time.
And that don't make sense.
And that kind of thing. So it might be time for us to figure out by what is the next iteration. What does Music Fest look like for the next 10 years?
Yeah.
I think that's the question that we need to ask. Yeah. And hopefully that question has been asked and it's been answered, and we'll see.
We shall.
I do understand that it's difficult. I do understand that it's difficult for the committees because there aren't many, and this is something that is across the region, right? Once government involved in things, then we could expect we could expect changes, we could expect people to go, people to come and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll see a situation where people get thrust into positions where it's almost like they have to reinvent the wheel, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like a button that's being passed. And so that makes it difficult, and that's not a sink it thing.
No.
So when we start talking about, what does the Sink It's Music Festival look like for the next 10 years? If that question was asked and answered, maybe now we need to ask it again because there might be new people in the position who might have a different vision.
That is true.
Right? But at the end of the day, like I said, anything that has stood the test of time for 25 years.
Yeah. It's a long time, you know.
And it's something to be commended.
That's almost half all my life.
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to figure out what it looks like. We cannot continue, and it has evolved. It has evolved from where it started, and it's grown, and so
definitely.
I don't think it's a matter now of scaling back. So what does growth look like?
Yeah, somebody suggests that we need to change the date of
what
the
purpose?
Festival. I guess it's based on the fact that there's the awards happening around the same time.
There's always something happening. There's always something happening. What you do, this is what I would say to that person. Book. One of the issues, we have to book our acts early and identify the acts that we want early.
I agree.
I mean, part of this thing where we go and everybody just put up their lineup on Facebook and so, and that's a fun exercise.
Yeah.
That's a fun exercise. It's cool to just to put up and say who you would like to see and who it is. But I don't believe the committee need to be depending on the random postings of people on Facebook.
To figure out how to put it together?
Like, I believe there are methods, and not believe, like I know, there are methods to identify who people will want to see next year. Because by the time people putting up somebody's name on the Facebook post, that is after they've brought out the album and brought out the single and have something run in the streets.
Yep.
And so, if you want to go book them now, then they're probably already booked and they probably already cost 10 times what they would have cost had you booked them even 6 months earlier.
That is a fact.
So we're gonna have to. So in other words, you can't have the consumer dictating it in this particular case.
They're gonna cause it to.
I mean, it's lovely to have that considered and
not only that, it's good.
But it can't be simply based on that.
Yeah, it's good to see people having those conversations of who, and even if it's based on that list can be based on this year. The list that you put out on Facebook has to be the list for next year, because you have to book people in.
No, but the people that want to see next year ain't gonna be the same people that are on this list.
That's also true.
So, and that's what I'm saying. So, and I tell you, I've worked on several music festivals, and when they're looking at acts, they're calling Sony. Okay, who release in the first quarter next year? They're calling Universal and asking who you guys have in the pipeline. What's the marketing budgets on these people? Because they have relationships in those places with the A&Rs, with the executives, and you're going to ask them, okay, so because you could know who's going to be hot next summer.
Based on the budget?
Based on the budget.
Yeah.
The label's going to dictate that. They know who they're going to put on who on playlist.
They know what they're going to push the money into.
This thing, if you guys, like a lot of us, we consume and we feel like we like what we like. No, they tell us what to like. Don't fool yourself.
Yeah.
Don't fool yourself.
So there you go.
Like when they start, think about it this way. Every artist has projections. When the label put out an album, what do you think the projection is? You think the projection is just like, oh my God, like we just feel people gonna like this song?
No, it's more
it's like, okay,
This is the song that I plan to make I like.
Yeah, exactly. So if there's already a projection of 100,000 people gonna stream this song, which really means that it's really 500,000 people, 500,000 people. How you know that?
Oh, that's where they're pushing the money.
So understanding the business, understanding the way these things work, I think helps to position us. And that is continually evolving, right? And so the people who are involved in the festivals across the region, not just St. they're also going to have to continually learn and evolve as well in terms of how to craft an experience that people won't forget.
Yeah.
And that's not just the acts, because we like to focus on the acts, but there's a lot that goes into the experience that really highlights or really determines how people walk away from the event feeling, right? So there has to be focus on that as well.
Well, I am looking forward to see what production we will get for this year's music festival, how it's going to be set up, you know.
Yeah,
all of those good things. So.
Yeah, I think those things play a big part. What's the general vibe of the island?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when I go to festivals in certain cities and towns, the event isn't the festival. Like the town, like I gave you examples already. Like we've spoken about this. When I go to Oro and Bear Creek and these types of things, like you go in the bank, it's festival time. you go into the supermarket, it's festival time.
Yeah.
Like you walk on the street, it's festival time. Like you can't escape the fact that it's festival time. Like the entire city it buys into what is happening because there's an understanding that what is happening down the street at 3 o'clock in the afternoon is going to impact everybody. Yeah. And so when we have this event, which I think whoever the crafters were quite visionary and said, look, from April, things are dead down. Cruise ships stop come, people think, what can we do
to fill that spot?
To bring people to the island at that point? It's a tourism product. It's something that helps us to spark the economy, build the economy, right? And the music festival was birthed out of those thoughts, I want to believe, right?
Yeah.
And so, if that is the case, then it requires buy-in from everybody, and that is why sometimes I get a bit frustrated when I see the negativity, because for me, you could be critical, and it's necessary that we're critical, right? I've been critical of music festivals all the time, right? No, of course, the reason why you're critiquing it gonna always be obvious, right? Because you can't escape it, right? So if you're being critical for the pop, like for instance, I'm saying things here, but I want to believe that people can hear the reason I'm making these critiques or giving these suggestions is because I want to see the music festival continue to grow and get better, right?
Naturally.
Some people, they ain't on that energy there.
Nobody, they just want to be haters. They just wake up and just...
I might think they'll be like, why can't you do this after the festival?
Because the attention sweet up before.
No, because the purpose is to try and undermine. The purpose is to try and undermine and to just be critical and just have an issue and something.
People have issues. Oh my God.
With everything, you put on local artists. They start to say who coming from where to see local artists. You leave off local artists. They start to be they were snubbed.
I care about your own.
I care about your own. You bring big international acts, or I find any money to pay them artists.
They deserve these.
You leave off big international acts, but what this year be?
What kind of festival this year?
What kind of festival? It's like,
oh my God. Can please, are you?
Yeah. No, I think all of these critiques, you could have some validity to them.
Yeah.
But again, what is your ultimate goal, right? And is it that you're seeking to help, or you're seeking to hurt. And a lot of times, it does feel as though people are seeking to hurt.
Yeah, that's true. But as I say, I'm looking forward to this year.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see what's going to happen, if we're working, if we're going to be in the crowd, shying, what we're going to be doing.
Shayo.
Warm up the voice, warm up the voice. So the...
Yeah, me good, man.
And I suspect
Yeah, me good, yeah, me good.
The anti-narcotics unit seizes 30 grams of suspected hashish from South... I'm so sleepy, I can't read. I'm so sleepy, I can't read. Oh, let me rub my item. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay, let's go. Soon done. I went to sleep. It's because I was so jet lagged, then I oversleep, and now I couldn't sleep last night, so I just...
Getting your sleep cycle back is going to be... you got about a week of this.
This is terrible. Let's try again. The anti-narcotics unit seizes 30 kilograms of suspected hashish from the southeast peninsula. There we go. So you have to rub my eyes a little bit. A package of drugs weighing 30 kilograms was seized by the anti-narcotics unit in the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force from the southeast peninsula, according to a statement from law enforcement. Officers of the anti-narcotics unit seized the contraband on the night of April 13, 2023 from Turtle Beach based on information received from police personnel at the Frigate Bay Police Station. Somebody stitch. The statement read that they encountered one brown package that was observed to be emitting a strong smell of cannabis. The suspected contraband was taken into police custody, where a further inspection revealed 3 packages containing 60 transparent packages containing a brown substance suspected to be hashish. No person of interest has been identified or arrested in connection with the drugs. Investigations into the matter...
I said no person. Oh, okay.
No. Investigations...
Let me check the person who snitch.
You can how you know nobody else know? That's suspicious. Oh, suspicious.
Oh, but it could be suspicious, but I mean, if I just tell you, like...
You know...
I see a package out Turtle Beach. And to me, I mean, I'll check it out.
Me, say why me, I just say to me look suspicious.
You can't let me up. You just tell me thanks.
Yeah.
I might put my hand and say, we no reward.
Nothing.
I thought you all paying for tips.
What they pay? But suppose this was like the decoy.
I don't think it's... the problem for me is that I don't think it's necessary to have one.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's the wrong about now.
Yeah. But my thing is, somebody left there 30 pounds of weed on the beach. What is the problem?
I mean, hey, why do I take it up for? Well, that small package out, I just took up things because I see them.
Let's say it was hair. Did they take it up?
No. So that be?
So is it that you... So that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the issue?
The issue is that it's drugs.
But...
What they deem to be drugs.
No, but is we still classifying marijuana as drugs?
Still. It has not changed as yet. It's supposed to be changing soon, you know, in the works, according to the AG.
All this is a joke, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
All that is a joke, Jade. A big, fat joke. And we all love jokes.
We all love a good joke over here.
We all love a good joke. So.
Yeah,
but that is definitely a huge joke.
Well,
like when I hear from it, right? When I start bringing in these politicians in these things here, things that just get weird, yeah.
Well, guess what? All joke is joke till then a joke, eh? So. And
all joke is joke until when we start to look around and see the people who are supposedly making the millions from this new industry. Ain't look not like us.
Okay.
Then we can see.
Listen, I was in Jamaica just watching the... You know what drugs I could have buy in Jamaica?
Well, festival time, yeah.
Oh, you just...
No, but I mean, festival time, it's quite prevalent.
Oh, because I'm like...
People walk around with a tray. What pills you want?
Tray? But I was watching man walk around with weed on branch, weed done back out, pre-rolls, anything you wanted.
Yeah.
Mushrooms.
Yeah. I'll tell you anything you want.
Anything you want, I could get by. I need to try, with a lollipop, some gum. A little juice.
LSD is ill. Yeah, bye. That was the experience. Anyway.
I have not yet. I wanted to do a mushroom, but, I didn't have anybody to do it with. Next time. Just to see how we go. Yeah. Well,
I believe most people should do some type of hallucinogenic.
I think so too. But they won't. They won't because of stigma and all these things. But Yeah,
I could understand people don't like anything that kind of alters their idea of reality and what reality is. I could understand there's a certain comfort in that.
Yeah. But
so it is not if you're that type of person, then stay away.
Yeah, that's all.
But if you're somebody who
like me and Azem?
If you're somebody who recognizes that there is more at play and that's happening, then you may want to access that.
Yeah.
Just for a brief time because you can't handle it, but yeah, it's a way of accessing.
A little bit,
It's a way of accessing that.
Yeah. Because I thought we're gonna do drugs together, friend.
Okay. I'm next.
Say what the drugs with me.
Jade, next. Come like you forget this is recorded here. Come like I forget this is recorded here.
JK. Jokes. Remember, they're just jokes. Well, what isn't a joke is that the boat in West African migrant tragedy has been found with a body.
Oh no.
Yeah. An update has been received on what may have happened to the vessel which left Antigua last month.
That is what I've been waiting on.
And overturned with West Africans and Antiguans, resulting in the loss of 3 lives, some being saved and several missing. According to a statement on the cabinet notes from the Office of the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, there was a report that a small fishing boat was unlawfully departed with 32 persons and overturned near St. Kitts, drifted into Puerto Rico waters with 1 body on board. It was stated that a group of about 50 West Africans who are now in Guadeloupe...
So the boat didn't sink?
No.
So all these people end up in the water?
It's a good question.
I'm trying to figure... Continue, Jade. That's the update I'm waiting on here. What happened on this boat?
Well, it was stated that a group of about 15 West Africans are now in Guadeloupe are likely to be dealt with by those authorities.
So we had some of them here?
Yeah.
So we send them Guadeloupe?
No.
So where always be?
Here. They're here still.
So you got 15 in Guadeloupe?
And the rest.
And how much here? 13 here?
Yeah, and then 3 died. Well, 4, because one on the boat.
Man, how much are spending on food? Man, you gotta feed the people.
Yeah, you just gotta be hungry.
But, like...
You're just trying to figure out the maths?
No, I'm trying to figure out what happened on the boat.
Which is the maths?
Because my thing is, ain't like to say, we don't...
15
we got
plus
15
13.
there, 13 here. One of them must know what happened on the boat.
Plus 3 that died.
In fact, a guy gave an interview here saying how they end up on the boat, but he ain't say what happened on the boat.
That's what's making this thing interesting to me. You have survivors. But it seems as though there is this pact between them that nobody can say what happened on the boat.
Maybe they walk out and need to like the load and chop something.
Jade, I can't even imagine, because if that were the case, right?
Yeah.
Then the people that are here in St. Kitts and the people that are there in Guadeloupe would have been some that get thrown off, or they've been quick to say the chores off. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, like, even that don't make sense. Something happened on the boat, Jade. The boat, I thought the boat sank.
Me too.
No.
I thought the boat sank, so you're telling me the boat
with a body?
Like, they found the boat.
Into Puerto Rico.
But the rest of the people that been going.
And then the rest here.
Some here, some in Guadeloupe, but it
Not a thing happened on this boat. Nothing happened on this boat, Jade. Them people coming right here. Them who in Guadeloupe is Guadeloupe. Jade, not a thing happened.
It just happened that the one they couldn't swim properly drown.
That's what.
They jump off.
They jump off the boat.
And swim in.
Yeah.
They jump off the boat.
Maybe they get the boat in and enough gas.
That is the only thing in a boat in enough gas.
They didn't want the
All what happens is, them man walk out, we ain't getting caught up there.
Yeah,
See,
so
it's
jump
there,
off.
go long. They might not even tell me singing, say, hey, first stop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's Puerto Rico, see there? Sister Thomas there. Sister Thomas there.
What?
Jade, I'm telling you, this... People ain't want to get vexed, you know, but I
Get vexed over?
This is how
That's
I
the
say.
only logical thing. I need to sneeze badly.
Say avocado. Say
Avocado.
No, not like that.
Avocado.
Stretch your nose when you say it.
Ah.
Yeah, just like that. This is going see?
That worked actually.
I tell you,
Thank you.
other teacher, like in the middle of his lectures, he'll just go avocado and just continue talking. So one day I asked him, I said, yo, why you keep saying avocado in the middle of the class? I wait till after the lecture and walk up to him. I was like, look, explain this to me. Like, what's
You got to
avocado?
together with you.
What's happening with avocado? And he's like, every year there's one student who finally comes and asks me what happens, and I make a deal with them. I said, I tell you if you never tell anyone else. And he tell me, he say, that's when I want to sneeze, and he makes me not sneeze.
Interesting.
So I had to swear I wouldn't tell the rest of the class. And he said he only tells the first student that asks. So he tell me, and then he won't tell anybody else.
Interesting. We missed something with the music festival conversation. It's going to be a 420 friendly section.
It was music festival, not 420 friendly. Last year, I literally was wondering if I'm depressed because I would just look up and see a cloud. I was starting to wonder if I was depressed.
Nothing. It was just a smoke from all the good ganja.
So somebody tell me when it wasn't.
Well, it was announced this time.
Oh, it was announced.
Yeah.
You come like 80% of the crowd has been smoking.
Yeah.
Last year was crazy. I ain't tell that.
But woman all the fattest joint.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I got to, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, but hey.
Yeah.
No, my issue is I keep saying, everybody know I don't follow weed and thing, right? No. But I also don't believe coming to public spaces
and just
blaze as you want.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe that is. I have kept saying I am totally against incarcerating people for the use
of marijuana.
That is just ridiculous.
It is.
It don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. However, just like how I don't want the person next to me to be smoking a big cigar, I really want the person next to me smoking a big spliff.
And that's fair and understandable.
Yeah. So, they could have a smoking section.
Yeah.
But you could go and smoke.
Yeah, enjoy yourself over there with all your like-minded.
That is the idea.
Maybe I was about to say maybe that's the rationale behind it.
Yeah, maybe that is the idea, but yeah. I'm going to say like there has been times where I know people who have left events they pay their good money for because they just can't deal with.
They're getting sick, the smoke is too much, the asthma acting up, they can't do it.
Yeah. And then not only that though, like
you just say one.
Necessarily, like when I get home, I relax everything, smell like the cheap weed and brown that you was smoking next to me.
Oh, you come in there and smoke bushweed and
Sometimes I believe it's actually grass.
It has to be.
That is not marijuana,
That is not.
You're just trying to look cool.
Yeah.
But you're broke, so you went in your yard, cut some grass, and now you're here smoking in front of everybody. Because that cannot be marijuana.
Ain't no way that's no weed. That's what they should make illegal, bushweed.
Grades are nothing, sir.
Grades are nothing. We're going to have some decorum when we
Let us see what is the THC content of this marijuana. Sorry, sir. This is not up to standard. This is not allowed.
And remove it. It's a health thing. We're doing this for you. To stop you from catching a cold. Because bushweed give you a cold,
Bushweed give you all kind of things.
Okay. So to prevent you from getting sick, we are doing this for you.
Yeah.
Make
And
this
for I out there who holding up a spliff them with more brown than weed,
even that should be legal.
that there should be illegal too. Yeah, guys, we're back and
I won't smoke a car just now.
a brown smoker.
Cut out the internet.
Cut out the internet, man.
That could take the pressure by.
Cut out the internet, man.
We got still talk why you know.
Go for 20 friendly.
But yeah, I don't try that. Make sure I talk to our fellow men in the 420 section.
I think what happened is, we really need to have that conversation, right?
Yeah.
About smokers etiquette.
Yeah.
Right? And the thing is, that conversation has been had with, I think, tobacco smokers. Because even you go to like most places have a smoking section, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like, yeah, you could smoke, but
This
if
is
you go
not your conversation.
you go up the airport, yeah, over by the benches over there.
You can do it.
I went on a cruise. The smokers had the section.
Yeah, put them in the car now.
So I think that's a conversation that we need to have. It can't just be.
Agree.
Yeah, and not only that, I think generally, like the people who would partake in weed or marijuana, what they would have done in times past would have been naturally just kind of
He's on the side.
do the thing.
He's in the back, yeah.
I always appreciated that.
Yeah.
Right?
Your friend tap you and say, I'll come back. You don't know what
Yeah. And so I think no, because there isn't that what do you call it by? That stigma attached or that or like maybe that not persecution. Let's call it persecution.
Yeah.
That is just like we're going the exact opposite direction. Like, we're just wilding right now.
Wilding.
Yeah, but I mean it's just about decent. We support what you're doing, so just work with us a little bit.
Yeah, just work with us a little bit.
Yeah. Everybody can work together.
That's all.
Everybody
That's
can work
all.
together.
But yeah, this is the start of the week. We have lots to come. Because, y'all just be busy.
Yeah, I'm going to be jumping out again soon.
Yeah, when you going again?
Well, I mean, you make up my mind yet. You got to be this week, though, because I got sound check weekend.
Good old sound check, boy.
Sound check weekend. So, but yeah, so...
what happening again?
St. Thomas Carnival.
Oh, yeah, a lot of carnivals happening.
Yeah, I'm doing production management for that.
Big give me my friend me and a visa so I can come.
Oh, bye. See you, Ludo. And
that would have been a good week for me to come too.
Yeah. So yeah, but until then, we'll
be here.
Yeah, we'll be here, and I'm looking forward to these conversations. Like we have a lot of catching up to do. I miss the sippers, Jade.
I know, and they missed us as well. I know.
Yeah, but guys, thank you guys for all the support, all the love, and thanks for welcoming us back. I saw some of the comments already for the morning.
Bye. That was happy for us.
Yeah, we're happy to be here as well, guys.
Yeah, all the weird people, this is for you. The weird people that message in the page with our weirdness, trying to talk to women. I don't know which woman are trying to talk to women.
What happened? You got people been trying to flirt with you on the Sugar Factory page?
Is that me or you? It's on us. Because there's only 2 people over there. So, let's not do that.
The messages ain't even getting to me. So if it's me, you
Can you check the page? It's bigger suffer.
Yeah, exactly. So I just letting them know if they're trying to get to me, that's not the way.
Yeah. And even if you're trying to get to me, that's definitely